if you're staying in here, you're actually very rich. Finally, after 8 years, we have a new launch in Toa Payoh. Without further ado, let's understand more about this project that we are talking about, the Orie. So if you were looking into new launches over the past few months, especially in the Emerald of Katong, Chuan Park, or even we talk about Nava Grove, that period of time, some of you may be disappointed and didn't manage to get the right unit. This particular project, the Orie in Toa Payoh, is one of the projects that you may consider as well. Let's look into this topic on why this project could be one of your options. Before I get started, do help me like this video so you can reach more people out there. Thank you. The name Orie comes from origami, which is something that they do up in the facilities. They have a dragon playground that's with the origami look. This project itself is by a joint venture of 3 developers, CDL, Frasers, and Sekisui House. So for Orie, we have 777 units spread across 2 blocks in this project, together with basement car parks and landscaping decks being built up. We have EV lots as well as some accessible lots with a total of 627 car park lots. So over in this project, the unit mix is pretty unique. 60% of units from 1+ study all the way to 3-bedder, and 40% of the units is from 3 premium all the way to the 5-bedroom with private lift. So in this project, the developers did thought about the unit mix, especially being close to town. So this project is very centrally located, very near to this Braddell MRT, 300 meters away, about 5 minutes walk. Especially what's important is we are very near to multiple amenities, such as the hawker centers in the Toa Payoh area. We have 3 expressways pretty nearby to us, which is firstly the new north-south corridor, where you have the exit ramp and entry ramp over at Caldecott area. We are pretty nearby to the PIE and CTE as well. And of course, we are 1 station away to our health city, which is the Novena Health City, where actually do have a lot more high-class amenities in terms of medical aspects for you. As we move ahead, we look at this new transformation over in Toa Payoh, which is a Toa Payoh Integrated Development. So over in this Toa Payoh Integrated Development, we have new amenities such as the Integrated Sports Hub and also swimming pool. We actually have also within 1 km to several very prominent schools like Raffles Girls School, RI, and SJI Institution International. What's important is that we have quite an assortment of primary schools within a vicinity. So as we move along, we can understand more into this area, especially in terms of all the views that we are facing. So in terms of the site context, we do have several block-to-block facings that we are looking at. For example, if you are looking at the north side, we're having a HDB of 12 stories right in front of us. So if you want to clear the view, you have to go above maybe say 10-2 all the way to the 40th floor and all that, so you can have quite a nice unblocked views over there. So over in the south side, we have a HDB of 19 stories right in front of us. So if you want to clear the view and have a very good city view into Singapore, especially the southern side of the view, we have to go above level 20. We are next to Gem Residences, which was a previous launch in 2016. A lot of people were saying that this pricing that time when they were launched is actually pretty high. But as we take a look at the resale value later in this video, we can analyze how they perform in today's market. So as we look in this southern view, as you can see, the views are pretty nice into the city. And one thing is important is that we have quite a number of blocks that is very unblocked in front of us. If you're living in this project Orie, you're going to have enjoyment of natural wind flow, especially into your own unit. So now let's dive into the layouts of the Orie. So let's take a look. Over in this layout, it's actually a 1+ study. We have this aircon latch, which is non-strata, which is all the GFA harmonized project currently does not count their aircon latch into the floor area. So this is 517 square feet. So now let's dive into the 2-bed 1-bath. It has a very nice layout. Importantly is that we have a window over here that allows you to have natural ventilation in your kitchen. So one thing that I like about this unit layout is that it's dumbbell. So you have non-space wastage, it's very efficiently used of space. And we have it at 592 square feet, which is one of the very nice palatable price point in terms of the size. And as we move along, we can take a look at the 2-bed 2-bath, 646 square feet, where we have the kitchen and a dumbbell layout as well. So the dumbbell layout gives you a lot more space that you can use in terms of the natural usage of space. And another thing that we can take a look at this layout is that you can have ample space down here to build some place to put your keys before you come back home. So as we move along, this is a 2 premium plus study, which is having a study which can double up like a storage space for you. And this layout is only 700 square feet. Very good, because if you compare to many projects around our Toa Payoh area, especially in terms of the Potong Pasir side, we have Trevor, also 700 square feet, where the layouts doesn't have the study. So with this, right, it's very efficiently use of space, which I'm quite thankful that developer do have this thought process when they create such a layout for us. So another layout that is very nice and unique is the 3 Premium, where a lot more families are able to take a look at this and they are willing to accept it because you do have areas of storage like the household shelter. Some of these layouts over here do cater to many families that we are looking at. So as we move along, this is another layout, the 3 Premium Dual Key, where you can have a studio over here, stand alone with a 2-bedder, with an enclosed kitchen. So one thing is important is that today, if you are a couple looking to start your journey or even your second property purchase and you don't mind staying in a 2-bedder site, you are able to rent out this studio unit such that you get the rental to actually cover your installment. So this is one of the layouts I do like in Orie. So as we move ahead, we can take a look at the 4-bedder, very nicely having all the rooms having a single direction. Over here, it allows you to have everyone looking at the very nice view of the south, where you can look at the city and far beyond. Another layout is a 4 Premium plus study. The only difference is this study over here. And importantly is that if you compare, this is the normal 4-bedder, 1216 versus the 1367. So slight differences is the living room is slightly bigger and a few other places like the study is extra. As per all the units over here, the aircon latch is not counted in your floor area. The next layout that is also very nice is the 5-bed with private lift. So this 5-bed with private lift do cater to many of the consumers that actually like the views, especially in terms of upgrading from your, maybe example, Jetscape or some other projects pretty nearby, that you do like a lot of this very nice amenities in such a project which is very near to town. So this layout allows you to have a lot of multi-generational living together, especially with 5 of the bedrooms over here. So as we take a look at the smart home system, developer is actually giving you some smart home facilities over in this project. So as we take a look at all this unit mix, the layouts and all, let me share my own personal insights, especially in terms of something that you're looking for investment and all. So personally, I feel that this 1-bed plus study and of course the 2-bed 1 bath, these 2 unit types actually is more suitable for a single, probably wanting to stay very near to their parents and all. But if you look at investment point of view, I personally feel that we should increase our budget, especially looking more of the 2-bed 2 bath and above. Of course, we can stretch to the 5-bedder. Of course, that's one of the key benefits, especially in terms of this whole project, because this is the top tier, having the private lift in this layout. So the second thing that I consider in terms of layouts is that in the investment point of view, we must understand how people actually exit in the future. So we want to find a layout that people tend to buy but not sell. So if we find such layouts, we are able to capitalize on a future possible appreciation. Probably you can price it slightly higher, but people are willing to pay for such a layout. So especially one of the layouts I do like the most is actually the 5-bed with private lift, only 77 units. But personally, I feel that most of these 77 units, whenever they buy, they tend to want to move into the unit. So if you look at an investment point of view, you do have very little supply, especially during the TOP or sub-sale time. So personally, I feel that if you want to look at investment, we tend to go for much larger layout where we know that lesser of the families that bought into such units would sell the units. By the way, I've checked. Actually, 94.8% of you have not subscribed to my channel. It will mean a lot to me if you actually help me like and subscribe to my channel. So let's head on to the next topic. So let's take a look at the whole town of Toa Payoh, especially talk about the HDBs in Toa Payoh Estate. So if you look at the filter of year 2000 and later, we do have quite a number of units over here that we are looking at, especially in terms of this summary down here. What we do see is that we have a very strong capital in terms of Toa Payoh residents, because one of the houses transacted up to 1.56888. These people do have quite a number of profit, and these are staying in the peak at Toa Payoh, where this was actually previously a DBSS. I'm not sure whether anyone of you knows the initial purchase price of the DBSS of the people staying in the peak at Toa Payoh. leave them in the comments below. So another part that we do have this DBSS people, they actually can upgrade to resale condo. So now let's take a look at the resale condo around this whole Toa Payoh region. So we filter again, look at this Toa Payoh town. So in Toa Payoh, right, we have very big wide locations. So over in this map, we have people in Thomson 800, Braddell View, Trevista, Orlando Towers, and of course, Gem Residences right beside us, Trevor, Airwole, Nin Residence, and Wule Residences, and including the next one of Park Colonial. So over in Orie, we have quite a number of buyer pools that will look at such a project. For example, the HDB upgraders, where the pick at Toa Payoh is one of them. Private property upgraders, where they are potentially staying in Toa Payoh already, or even Bidadari Estate, where it's actually part of the Toa Payoh township. So there's a third group of buyers that potentially could buy Thomson View, which I coined the homeless millionaires, because they actually received their en bloc recently. And this particular project is actually Thomson View, which is directly opposite Thomson Plaza. So this group of people, they do have an opportunity to potentially upgrade, or even we talk about move to a centralized location in Toa Payoh. Last but not least is actually the spillover effect of the 6,000 buyers that I shared in my previous video that missed out on the previous launches. So if you want to find out more about my analysis of the previous launch over in the launch season of 2024, click on the link over here where I share more into details onto the spillover effect that I was sharing earlier. So all these people are very conveniently located. So even if they want to upgrade potentially to a bigger unit in the Orie, they would like to go very centralized location like Toa Payoh as well. So for the pricing comparison, let's take a look at Gem Residences. But before we deep dive into the pricing, let's take a look at the layouts to compare. So as we compare the layouts, we'll take a look at a 2-bed 1-bath. So this 2-bed 1-bath layout, one thing that I don't like is in Gem Residences, you do have the bedroom 2 slightly smaller than most of the projects in today's market. With the recent changes in the layout, developers are more emphasizing into having a very nice master bedroom or even common room that allows you to fit queen size beds inside. So all these things are very important in terms of the long-term resale value. With this, we can now dive straight into the pricing in terms of their capital appreciation that the owners in Gem Residences made. So let's look at the profitability of this project. Let's take a look, for example, a 2-bedroom. So the 2-bedrooms unit, the owners made on average a 252,000. So with this 252,000, most of the owners can potentially upgrade to a 3-bedder subsequently in the Orie. Usually when I share with my customers is look at a overview of changing your portfolio within the next few years, because personally, if you want to take a look at my journey, I change my portfolio every 3 years. So for some of the owners in Gem Residences, I know some of you probably have been holding on to your Gem Residences for quite a number of years already. You can potentially think of upgrading into the next project, for example, the Orie, because very similar lifestyle to your current place at Gem Residences. Let's take a look at the 3-bedders profit. On average, earning 342,000. And of course, on the higher end, we are looking at about 633,000 profits in this project, Gem Residences. So all these people are potentially also even buyers for the next project, the Orie. Because in Toa Payoh, we do not have much land for private development. So if you're looking at staying in Toa Payoh, this land is actually one of the last few lands that you can actually consider in terms of being in the Toa Payoh neighborhood. So let's take an example of the owner that made 633,000. This owner bought into the unit of a 3-bed premium at 1.546 million. Where currently they are having it sold at 2.18 million. Back then, a lot of people, when they were looking at Toa Payoh especially, it's very shocking because a lot of people realized that the pricing was pretty expensive at that point in time. But if we had the chance to buy Gem Residences previously, we're actually having quite a nice profit margin in our bank. Because personally, that time when I first started in property, honestly, I felt that the pricing in Toa Payoh was pretty much expensive because it was unattainable at that point in time. Having said that, in today's market, we have quite a nice profitability for the owners, especially in this project in Gem Residences, because they currently are able to sell a little bit lower than the market, but they made a huge profit of 633,000. So just imagine you're one of the owners that bought Gem Residences back then. Don't make the same mistakes of some of the buyers that missed out Gem Residences back in 2016. take a look at Orie Residences and have a bigger understanding of the project before you decide whether to go ahead or not. If you want to have a better analysis of this project itself, do contact me at my contact number over here, where I'll actually share more with you onto the insights of the project. Okay, before I end this video, let me share a bit of my insights on the Orie. Personally, I feel this project is one of the nicest projects that we can consider in 2025, especially because this is very centrally located. It might actually repeat the EOK launch, where 99% of the units were sold within 2 days. So today, one thing is important is that it's a slightly different product compared to Emerald of Katong, because Emerald of Katong is only about 20 stories high, and we have 40 stories over here. If we are able to get one of the top tier units over here, we do have a very nice potential pool of buyers subsequently. The bigger layouts here will naturally perform well in the resale market or even the sub-sale market in the future. Again, if you like this video, do help me like, share and subscribe to my channel, and hit the notifications bell to get notified for more videos like this. Cheers everyone!